Hello friends, welcome back to this video on analog communication. In this video I am going to talk about the indirect method of FM generation, which is Armstrong's method. So indirect word means that we are not generating the FM directly, we are using the phase modulator to generate the frequency modulator. We have already discussed the direct method of generation of FM, where we generated the FM signal using LC oscillator. So I had some changes in the LC oscillator circuit or the tank circuit, and I generated the frequency modulated signal. So why we are discussing the indirect method? So in indirect method, as I already said, I am using phase modulator, and the phase is changing according to the amplitude of the message signal. It does not depend upon the frequency of the message signal. This you should remember. So now I am going to tell you why I am discussing the indirect method at all. There were some problems in the direct method. Although the direct method was very simple and it was cheap also, but we had some problems. The first problem was we were using LC oscillator. As I already told you, we were making changes in the LC oscillator. So whenever we are using LC oscillator, it is not stable. So there would be problem of instability. So if I am doing broadcasting of FM signal, I cannot tolerate the instability. So first problem of direct FM generation is So FM broadcasting cannot be done with the help of direct method because LC oscillator is unstable. So instead of LC oscillator, we are using crystal oscillator in indirect method, which makes the indirect method popular. So now the second problem was as I already told you, for changing the capacitance in the tank circuit, I was using the varactor diode. So the varactor diode was non-linear, although the changes in the capacitance were linear, but as a diode it is acting as a non-linear device. So voltage and current relations are non-linear in varactor diode, because of which there would be large distortions in the generated FM signal. So this is also a problem encountered in the direct generation. So here I hope now you understood why we are studying the Armstrong's method. Although the direct method is used in high power FM transmissions, but in most of the other practical applications, indirect method is used. So now I'll be telling you that how with the help of phase modulator I can generate the frequency modulated signal. I have already told you the conversion of the phase modulator to the frequency modulator in my previous video itself. So now here also I am going to tell you how I can convert the phase modulator to the frequency modulator. And why I am doing so? Because as I already told you, here we are using the phase modulator indirectly to generate the frequency modulated signal. So let's understand how this will happen. So here we have xt. xt is passed to the integrator, which is passed to the phase modulator, and will generate the FM signal. So let's understand this with the equation of the phase modulator and the frequency modulator. So phase modulated signal PM can be represented as AC cos omega CT plus Kp into xt. So now this was the equation of the phase modulated signal. So if I write the equation of frequency modulated signal, it is AC cos omega ct plus kf integration of xt dt. So here I am taking kf equal to kp. So we are taking the constant same. So that time the only difference between the phase modulated signal and the frequency modulated signal is this xt. So this is my message signal. So if instead of xt I supply integration of xt, then it will form the frequency modulated signal. So in the phase modulator, if instead of my message signal I'll supply the integration of the message signal, the phase modulator will work as a frequency modulator. So this is how this phase modulator is working as a frequency modulator. I hope now you understood this. So now we'll see the block diagram for the generation of FM wave. So here we have the crystal oscillator. So now this is the block diagram of the Armstrong's transmitter. So here you can see in the first block itself I am using a crystal oscillator. So the crystal oscillator is removing the first problem of the direct method, which was the LC oscillator's instability. So here we have a stable crystal oscillator. So this crystal oscillator is producing the signal which is AC cos omega ct. So now I hope you understand crystal oscillator is used to generate the carrier signal. So now here we have the buffer. Buffer is something which is holding the signals for a while, so that this signal and this signal will come to the combining network at the same time, because we have to transmit this signal. So here the connection would be direct. So now the crystal oscillator is providing signal to the buffer, and now here we have 90-degree phase shift. So this AC cos omega ct is going directly to the combining network, and from here the 90-degree phase shifted version, or if I do the Hilbert transform of AC cos omega ct. So what is the Hilbert transform of AC cos omega ct? It would be AC sin omega ct. So now I have sent the Hilbert transform of AC cos omega ct to the balanced modulator. So in the balanced modulator, xt after audio equalization is coming. So let's understand this thing without this audio equalization block first. After this, I'll be telling you what is the working of this audio equalization block. So if I am sending xt directly to the balanced modulator, what would happen? So here AC sine omega ct is coming and from here xt is coming. So what would happen? Double sideband suppressed carrier type of amplitude modulation would happen. So here AC sine omega ct will multiply to the xt and it will form amplitude modulated signal. So now you will be confused. I had to generate the frequency modulated signal. Here I have made an amplitude modulated signal. So wait. So now here after the balanced modulator, the output is going to the combining network which will combine the signal from here and the signal from here. So after this I will get a phase modulated signal if I am considering xt to be coming from here. So now you will be further confused that now I have generated the phase modulated signal. I wanted to generate the frequency modulated signal. So now let's understand this. At the end of this video you will be generating a frequency modulated wave itself. So here let's take this signal to be A. So this is A signal. Now this is B signal. The combined signal, the balanced modulated output is C and here I am getting D. So let's understand what is happening to the phases. So overall how it is working as a phase modulator, first we need to see that. So now if I see that A is AC cos omega ct. So now if I have to represent AC cos omega ct, how I can represent AC cos omega ct? It can be represented using an impulse. So at omega c. So now I am representing an impulse at omega c which is representing AC cos omega ct. So this is AC cos omega ct. Now if I want to represent AC sin omega ct, it is just the 90-degree phase shifted version of A. So B is equal to AC sin omega ct. How I can represent it? It can be represented like this. So this is B. Now I want to represent C. C is the output of the balanced modulator. So here that is the output which is representing the double sideband suppressed carrier. So in the double sideband suppressed carrier, what I used to had? I used to had only upper sideband and lower sideband. I never had the carrier itself. So now if I want to represent the double sideband suppressed carrier, so if this was my carrier, here AC sin omega ct is the carrier. So if I have to represent the C, so this was the carrier AC sin omega ct. Here this is upper sideband and this is lower sideband, and this was my B, AC sin omega ct. So now this carrier is not present. I hope you remember in double sideband suppressed carrier, the carrier would not be present. So I am removing this. So I will be just having upper sideband and lower sideband. So now if I need to find out the resultant is given by the diagonal element. So this blue signal represents the resultant. So the upper sideband and lower sideband combine and I am using the resultant as C. So now here what is happening? AC cos omega ct is adding to C and we are forming D. So in the combining network, this resultant, this represents C. So now this is added to my AC cos omega ct. So this is added to AC cos omega ct. AC cos omega ct was represented like this. So what would be the resultant? The resultant is represented like this. So here we have a phase. So now you will be asking me why the phase is changing and how it will change. So now the upper sideband and the lower sideband's amplitude depend upon the modulation index, and I hope you remember amplitude of USB and LSB was proportional to m, the modulation index, it was nearly equal to MAC by 2. So into pi also was there. So I am taking it proportional to MAC by 2. So AC is a constant, 2 is a constant. So now what was my modulation index? Modulation index was AM upon AC. So now I can represent the modulation index as AM upon AC, and if I am increasing AM or the amplitude of my message signal, AM represents the amplitude of the message signal. So whenever I increase AM, the M would increase, and if M is increasing, so if M is increasing, amplitude of USB and LSB will increase. So let's understand this. If I am increasing the amplitude, so let's suppose this is the increased amplitude, so the resultant level would also increase. So here if I increase the resultant level, so let's suppose this resultant was increased like this. So here I'll be having a new resultant for the D as well. So now the D is represented by phi dash. So now phi is changing according to the amplitude of the message signal. So when phi is changed according to the amplitude of the message signal, it happens in the phase modulation. So in phase modulation, phi increases when amplitude of message signal increases, or I can say when xt increases. So whenever xt increases, that time the phase will increase, and whenever xt decreases, so phi decreases when AM decreases or xt decreases. So this is the property of the phase modulation, and at the D we are getting the phase modulation. So here if I increased x, so whenever I increased x, the balanced modulators upper sideband and lower sidebands amplitude would increase. This will increase the resultant. So here if I represent it with R, so this R, so this is R dash and this was R. So R dash would be greater than R. So if R dash is greater than R, the new resultant would be having a different phase angle. So you can see directly phi dash is greater than phi. So when xt increases, phi increases. This was the property of phase modulation. So if I consider this block which I have represented by black dots, so it represents a phase modulator. So indirectly with the help of phase modulator we have to generate the frequency modulated signal. So now here the audio equalization block is providing the integration of xt. So whenever an integrated version of message signal is applied to the phase modulator, I'll get the frequency modulated signal. So here if xt pass through the integrator, pass through the phase modulator. So this represents the phase modulator. So this represents the phase modulator. Now this represents the integrator. So xt integrator phase modulator. Now it is frequency modulator, but overall this block represents the narrow band phase modulator. Now why? Because this crystal oscillator can produce at max 1 megahertz frequency. So at max we can have 1 megahertz frequency. So here we'll generate only narrow band FM. So this was FM. Narrowband FM is generated because the maximum frequency of the crystal oscillator is nearly equal to 1 megahertz. So now here we have narrowband FM. So here we generated the narrowband FM. Now I have to convert this narrowband FM to wideband FM. So I'll be using frequency multipliers. So what are frequency multipliers? We are multiplying the frequency. So if we are using a frequency doubler, so here we are using frequency doublers or triplers. So I am saying in the frequency multipliers, I am just using frequency doubler. So how the frequency doubler is acting? So here if I am transmitting AC cos omega CT, so let's take this to be a dummy signal. So if it is transmitted here, so let's take a frequency multiplier. If it is squaring its value, so here I'll be getting AC square cos square omega CT. So this cos square omega CT can be represented as 1 plus cos 2 omega CT upon 2. So here I get the double frequency then the input frequency. So this is how a frequency doubler will work. So I said at highest level I can use the frequency triplers, and I require the output to be in megahertz. I told you in wideband FM the signal is from 88 megahertz to 108 megahertz, and here I was using 1 megahertz oscillator. So I require here series of frequency multipliers. I'll be using series of frequency multipliers to produce the desired output. So now here I am using the frequency which is not a multiple of any frequency. So let's suppose I have to find out the FM signal at 98.3 megahertz. So what would happen? I'll use the frequency multipliers to generate 100 megahertz signal. So now I have 100 megahertz signal after this point. So here I am generating the 100 megahertz signal. So now after that I have mixer. So mixer have the input local oscillator. So here I'll be supplying a local frequency according to this frequency. So if I subtract 1.7 megahertz from 100 megahertz, so that time I can easily generate 98.3. So in mixer I'll be supplying a local frequency of 1.7 megahertz. So here at the output, what would be there at the output? 100 plus 1.7 and 100 minus 1.7. So at the output we'll be having 101.7 and 98.3. So now I hope you can understand. I have generated the 98.3 signal. After that I'll be using this band pass filter to reject this signal. So I just want this signal can be rejected. So here I have 101.7 plus 98.3. So after this I'll be just having 98.3 megahertz. So this is how I generated the desired frequency signal. So after that I have class C power amplifier. The class C power amplifier is used to amplify the received signal, and here I'll get the frequency modulated signal. So now after the mixer I'll be having the problem of image frequency as well. So the mixers where I used it in the super heterodyne receiver. There I discussed about the image frequency. So here if it is passing 100 minus FM, so FL, take it FL. So I am taking it to be FL, local oscillator frequency. So it can pass 100 minus 2 FL frequency as well. So it can pass 100 minus 2 into 1.7. So 100 minus 3.4, which is 96.6 signals. So at the same time I am receiving 98.3 and 96.6, due to which I'll be having crosstalk. So it is a serious problem, but it can be eliminated with the proper application of the local oscillator and band pass filter. So I hope you understood how the Armstrong receiver is working. I have discussed its block diagram, how mathematically all of the blocks are working, and how the double sideband suppressed carrier amplitude modulation is a sub part, and the phase modulator is a sub part to generate the frequency modulated signal. That is why it is called the indirect method. So I'll be winding up my session here. I hope you like this video. If you like it, share it with your friends, subscribe the channel and push the like button. Thank you.